been on her podcast, where we're privileged to have Rachel Fattal, an exceptional USA water polo athlete, as our esteemed guest. Join us as we explore the challenges she's overcome, the victories she celebrated, and the invaluable insights she has to offer to aspiring athletes and sports enthusiasts alike. Welcome, Rachel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. You guys, this is so cool.
We're excited.
We have, we have a little backstory about how we are connected with you. I actually remember you from when I first started playing volleyball. I was 11 years old, and I played for Seal Beach Volleyball Club, where her mom coached. Her mom is now the co-founder or
co-owner.
Co-owner of it. And I remember Rachel was like this little girl just in the gym, just playing with the ball, like as her mom's coaching. And but anyway, so we've known each other a long time. And then Kelly.
Yeah, we went to UCLA together, college, baby.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the water polo girls that are listening, hopefully. Yeah. So we're 1 year apart.
1 year, but like graduated too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kelly was our honorary water polo player because she's like the only non-water polo athlete that ever lived with water polo girls.
It was the best time ever. It was my senior year. I was in the house with the water polo girls. They taught me one night we went up to the pool and they put me in the cap and like the one piece full water polo gear. I kid you not. I swear to God, like I drowned. It was so bad.
You didn't drown.
Egg beating.
You didn't drown. We wouldn't have let you drown.
Yeah. But egg beating was like the hardest thing I've ever done. And I was like, how do you girls do this? Like for
I just
hours
float.
Yeah. It's
Just float.
It's very impressive. It gave me a lot of perspective. So, but yeah.
That's fun. Yeah. So, but big news was yesterday, you guys just won the World Cup championship, right?
Yeah.
And it was in your backyard, Long Beach City College. You're from Seal Beach, so how was that?
Yeah, I mean, it's the first big tournament that we've hosted in the U.S. probably since like 2009. So pretty crazy for us. And it was actually the first year that we've had this tournament. It's a new tournament for us. We usually have a tournament called World League Super Final. They just decided to get rid of that and brought in a tournament called World Cup, and we got to host the very first one. And I mean, yes, we came out lucky yesterday. Had a rough game, but came out on top, which was awesome. And having it in Long Beach, backyard. So many of us on my team are from California and from Orange County area. So it's really cool to be able to have the support of your family there, right? When we travel to Europe, which is more normally where we play, because that's where water polo is the biggest. Your family doesn't always get to come, or, it's like you're there for 2 weeks and they come for a couple of days, but to be able to have people in your family and your friends consistently at games, like all 3 days, is amazing. You feel the love, you feel the support. There was like USA chants going on yesterday, which for us, it's usually like Hungary or Italy or, some other country, but to be able to hear USA chants while you're playing, I know that gave me like an extra boost of energy yesterday, but it's really cool to be able to feel that.
Yeah, we were watching on the live stream, and you made one of the most. I mean, you had the 12th goal in the last 2 minutes.
Goal,
the game-winning goal. I gave a little fist pump. I was fired up, so that was congrats on the big win. That was fun to watch you play and be in your element. And congrats on making the 12th goal. We were watching. But yeah,
What does your schedule look like? Because obviously you were playing in Australia, right?
I played 2 years professionally in Australia. Yes.
Okay, but then what is like a typical season for water polo?
So we're kind of interesting because it's usually like half of our team's still in college and then half of our team's usually out of college. So if you're out of college, you usually go play professionally somewhere. And if you're in college, you play in college. But what makes our team a bit different than other teams is the year before the Olympics, we all train together. So no one goes overseas and plays. No one plays in college. You take the whole year off of school. So this is why I ended up being 2 years behind Kel, because I had to take the whole year off of school. And so it's like for volleyball, indoor at least, you get to go play overseas. And for beach, you play FIVB or AVP, For us, we sit and we train at home together for a full year. Together.
That's a lot of time together.
It's a lot of time together. And we travel and we have tournaments, but it's a lot of training like at home, centralized. And we've always been, luckily for me, like based out of Orange County. We were usually based out of the base. This squad will probably be based out of LBCC, which is the pool that we were just at. But yeah, so it's, our coach always gets mad, but it's approximately like 6 to 7 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's a lot of time in the pool. I'm just like,
it's not all in the pool. So that also is time spent in the weight room, which is like 3 to 4 days a week. And then everything else is in the pool.
When's the peak of your season? Like, is it the summer months? Kind of walk
Usually
us through that.
so like I said, it's just that 1 year before the Olympics, but besides that, it's the summer months. So, right, like if it wasn't an Olympic year, you would go play pro, and then you would come back in like May, and we would go like May through September, and we would have a world championship or a World Cup or, you know, a big tournament. That would be our peak. We're actually leading up into, we leave in like 10 days to go to Japan for world championships. And that'll actually be our first chance to qualify for the Olympics. So right now, no one for water polo has qualified for the Olympics at all yet. If you come in first or second at this world championships, you qualify for the Olympics automatically.
What other ways can you qualify for the Olympics?
So you can qualify for us through Pan American Games. So that is in October, I believe, in Chile. So it goes by like regions. So Pan Am, so that's obviously the Americas. There's European Championships, so that's how they qualify. Australia plays New Zealand. But you know, like everyone has their own way of getting in. So like there's big tournaments that can get you in, or, you know, your like regional tournaments that can get you in as well.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
When will they make the final roster then? Like up until what point?
Our
before you
final
go?
roster usually doesn't get announced till like a month out.
Crazy. And so then you have a decent amount of girls or women that are all training, because
Yeah.
you got to be able to train against each other. And
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It's definitely tough as it starts to dwindle down, right? And it gets to be, it's like sad and happy at the end, because you're like really happy if you make the team, but you're also sad for these girls who are just as important as the 13 that end up being on the roster for us. And they don't get that opportunity to be there with you guys at the end of the day. But like I said, they are just as important to everything, because they've been there every step of the way with you guys. So it's, you know, like a bittersweet moment when that roster gets named.
How long have you been on with USA water polo?
With the senior team, I started like officially in 2013 was like my first summer training with them. I got to my senior year of high school. I got to go. They were prepping for the 2012 Olympics, and I got to go instead of doing like my high school swim season, which was last. I would go to senior national team practices instead, because they needed more bodies, and I was just a young kid that was like, sure, I'll do it. I love to. Which obviously, you know, set me up for good stuff later. But before that, I was on the junior team and the youth team, and kind of had the pipeline all the way through.
So you're considered like a vet now. And
Yeah.
like, are
Maybe
you
old.
captain?
I am not captain.
Oh, okay.
No. Maggie Steffens is captain. She's an absolutely amazing water polo player. She was on that 2012 team. She's actually a 3-time Olympic gold medalist. She's very wonderful, very, very, very good at the sport.
Do you guys play the same position or no? Or I guess what position do you
kind
play?
of. So I am considered an attacker, which means I kind of play on the perimeter. Like if you think of it like basketball, you know how there's like people around and like one person in the middle? Kind of like water polo.
The person in the middle looks like they have the hardest job. I was watching it last night.
They get drowned a lot.
They just get pushed under. It's insane.
They have a really hard job, but so does the person that's guarding them, because while they're getting pushed under, they're also like pulling you.
Is that allowed?
Can you explain the rules? Like what is legal and what is like foul?
Yeah, because also I've heard, like my friend who played, Sarah Brady,
Okay.
from high school, she
Mhm.
played water polo, and she would tell me that she would have to have her nails checked.
Yes, we get our
Before,
nails checked
because-
before games. Don't look at my nails; they're so ugly right now. I'm like waiting right before we leave. They gotta say they gotta last for a month. Yeah, you get your nails checked before games, but that doesn't.
Right, but like
I have scratches right now.
yeah, so
Probably can't
and then
see 'em.
also one other comment too before we ask really about what happens under the water is my mom said that she was talking to your mom, and
Ooh, this is the gossip.
and what was so funny was they were talking about, like, your mom was talking about, you know, you've had so much success in her mind because like you're a sneaky player.
What does that mean?
I don't know,
Rachel,
sneaky?
explain yourself.
I'm not sneaky at all. I try and swim away from everyone. I'm like relatively fast in the water polo world, not in the swimming world, but in the water polo world, I'm relatively fast. I always say I'm a lover, not a fighter. I don't want to touch you. You don't want to touch me. Let's get along like a big happy family. I would rather swim away from everyone than like get in a tussle. But if you want to come at me, I have no problem protecting myself.
It's like if you poke
That's
the
fair.
bear, the bear's gonna fight back.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Like if you want to come at me, like I have no problem getting you. But there's also like the other hand to that, because if you are like trying to get in like tussles, like then you're no longer focusing on the game. And there's so much happening in water polo that like if I spend 5 seconds just like trying to fight you, or like if I want to like hit you or something, like then I'm no longer focusing on where the ball is, or if my teammate needs my help, or what else is happening around me. So there's like a give and take if you like try and, get someone.
Way to change the direction of the conversation.
No. We can totally go back. We can totally go back to
She
it.
was like, that is a leader. That is a definition of a leader. She's like, you know what? It's more than just a tussle. We're a team. We're gonna do teamwork. But
yeah,
that's interesting. What do you do? Like you do like a whip kick underneath or something?
No, I promise you, like
What do other
I don't try
what
to
do other
hurt
people
people
do? Like what do people get away with? Because I know also there's also like the tactic of faking that something happened to you under the water.
Yes, that's very annoying.
Right? So
yeah.
talk to us about that.
Well, yeah, like faking is there's always a give and take. Kelly's just doing weird things over here.
She's like
like smush them down. Sorry, that was the microphone. My bad.
Well,
anyways,
okay.
Continue.
Putting your face underwater is like can be really dangerous, right? Like if I'm swimming, la 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 la, and someone's swimming in front of me and their feet are just right here, like you're gonna get kicked in the face. Like if they don't like you or you did something, like you're gonna get kicked in the face. So it's like you just have to like know what's happening, who you're playing against, like what that player likes to do, like tendencies. Same thing in volleyball, right? Like, oh, this person likes to cut shot. They want to go deep corner, right? Well, this person likes to kick you in the face. This person, if you go underwater, is gonna put a knee in your side, or right? It's just tendencies.
Same but different. Yeah,
exactly. Same but different. Like you guys stay on two different sides of the net. We just smush each other, as Kelly would say.
Smush. Yeah.
Smush, mush.
That's tough. I mean, and also you have to think about like what happens with communication as far as like if you're trying to run a play or something. Obviously, I know if you get set up on offense or defense, like you're able to communicate because you're treading water. But like, what about when you're swimming over to the other side? Like, is it kind of just you practice so much together that you have this mutual understanding, or just figure it out when you get there, or
kind of a bit of both.
Yeah.
So right now we've on our team have been talking a lot about like we had a lot of turnover from our last Olympic team, so it's a relatively new team, and we still have old like girls from our last couple teams that are there, but we've brought in a lot of new younger girls. So that communication piece goes up so much more when you're playing with a new partner, right? You don't really know their tendencies. Well, we're playing with a bunch of new partners basically now, and we don't know their tendencies, so that means you have to talk 10 times more. But it's also really hard to talk while your face is in the water, right? And you're like going up and down, and you're breathing hard, and you're like press, or like go to them, get the ball, but right, that's all part of like communicating. And then the more you get to know your teammates, then yes, the more it is like nonverbal communication. But right now for us, it's a lot of like having to talk, and we are constantly talking about how much we need to talk. We just need to, transfer the outside of the water into the water. And we are getting better at it, but that's definitely something that in the next year we can hopefully improve upon. But yes, it is definitely hard to do it. And it takes a lot of fitness. And that's like one of the things, like we're probably one of the only sports that like, how often do you like run for volleyball? Like now?
I mean, I don't go on mile runs, but I do like short sprints. So.
Sure. Yeah. So like we like warm up with like 3 grand swim sets. So like it would be like a long, like, and that's just like a daily thing that we have to do because part of what we do is swimming up and down. That's like not even the water polo part.
Oh, my heart's like starting to race just thinking about that.
Going back to your swimming days?
Yeah, that was fun.
I need the kickboard and my floaties to stay
Don't
afloat.
forget your goggles
and your cap.
The goggles, cap.
Yeah.
Putting on the cap's hard, but so do you guys spend more time in the pool doing conditioning, or do a lot of stuff on land?
More time in the pool.
Okay.
We do spend a lot of time in the gym because you need to be strong. Like there's some big girls out there. There's some big girls out there. So you need to be strong. But a lot of time in the pool, like fitness conditioning is usually like our mornings, and then it's like afternoons are very much water polo based for us.
So you say you're spending like 6 to 7 hours.
Yeah, usually like 2-3 hour practices, but they always go over.
And I remember hearing like with swimmers, it's like if they took a day off, they could lose like tenths of a second off of their swim time. Is that something relative to you guys too, or it's just kind of something that you just like you need to get so used to the water that?
Yeah. Well, luckily we aren't like super worried about tenths of a second.
Right. Exactly.
But I mean, yeah, the more you stay out of the water, the more you kind of lose the feel for it. But like today, like we have the day off. Like we just finished a big tournament yesterday. It went really late. I didn't get off the deck till like 9:30, and so we get today off, but we have practice tomorrow. You know, like one day is only going to help our bodies. We're not only are we swimming, but we're also getting, you know, compressed and all those things, right? And so like our body does need a rest. Like you get your shoulder ripped off, you get, you know, you're constantly getting pushed and shoved and hit.
Yeah.
So like it's nice to give your body like a day off to kind of recover and rest and take what you need.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's also lucky too, just that the water is a little bit lower impact, just
Yes.
like us for playing indoor versus beach. Like beach is
Lower
still,
impact.
it's still, you know, tough on the body, but
For
like
sure.
it's definitely lower impact.
What do you do for recovery?
You know, everyone has their own thing. Some of my teammates are really good at recovering. I personally like to sleep. Like,
That's
but like I don't
important.
sleep a lot. Like I wake up at 6:30 in the morning, like still, like even this morning. But like, say at the Olympics. So Maggie Steffens, who is our captain, is usually my roommate a lot on trips. She is the queen of recovery. Like she has like game readies on her shoulders and Normatex on both of her legs, and it's like beep boop with all the machines that are going over there, like next to her. And I'm like, I'll just go take like a 15-minute nap.
Biohacking.
Yeah.
But so sleeping is definitely part of a
Just
big
a
chunk
little
of
nap.
your recovery.
Sleep is super important though. And
It
it's like
is.
great for muscle recovery, all of that
Mhm.
mental recovery.
Yeah. Well, what about mentally? Like, how do you, because it's so demanding,
Yeah.
what do you do mentally?
We actually have a sports psychologist that works with our team. And he's worked with our team for a really long time. So we often do like team sessions with him, and you can also do one-on-one sessions with him. But me mostly for like my mental recovery is like thinking about like the game or practice, and then kind of like processing what I need to have learned, or like what went wrong or what went well, and then kind of like moving on and thinking about the next thing. Like I try not to stay too long and dwell too long on one thing, especially if it's already happened. Like take what you need from it, and then it's time to look forward and move to the next thing.
Yeah.
One of the things that we have on our team is you're only as good as your next game or your next practice or your next rep, or you know. So if you've messed up one rep, that doesn't mean that the next one isn't going to be good. Take the final, for example. Kelly told me that my 12th goal was clutch. Well, guess what? I missed 5 other shots before that. Right? So it's like no one's talking about those. I will, you know, but you're only as good as your next thing. So, you know, like if I, you know, take those really hard, like my first 5 shots that I miss, and I get up there and it's my turn to shoot a shot that could potentially, you know, win the game for us. Well, if I'm thinking about those, I'm probably going to miss. But if I'm thinking about, okay, just putting the ball in the back of the net, then that happens.
Yeah.
So those 5 shots that you missed before, how do you reframe that? So is it a good error or a bad error? How do you label that?
I don't. It just happened.
You just okay.
And one of the best things about water polo is that, like in volleyball, if you make a mistake, it usually is a point, right? In water polo, if you make a mistake, it could be a point, but sometimes, a lot of times, it's not a point, right? You have a team, you have someone there to back you up. So like offensively, if I miss a shot, that just means the other team gets the ball, and we got to go play defense. You know, like hopefully someone's covering me and we're not down on a counterattack, but usually it doesn't cost me anything. So I get to forget about it, and it's time to move on to the next thing. Because if I think about it, then I'm not going to be thinking about defense, and that's the next thing.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting to think about. And another factor too, but you're still like having to compete with the clock as well.
Yeah.
Like that's another factor. Whereas we can have a match go on forever, you know,
For hours.
for hours. I mean, not that it ever happens, but you know, like there is the difference
Yeah.
of having to really make the push at the end. If they're, you know, like you made the winning goal with like less than 2 minutes. So obviously what do you do about like time constraint mentally?
Well, I mean, if we had finished in a tie, we would go into a shootout. So it's
Right.
like soccer. So we get 5 shooters and you take a penalty. So technically there's no time constraint, right? But
Yeah.
obviously it's much more better to like win in regulation time. So we get 30 seconds on offense, sometimes 20, just depending on what's happening. Some water polo rules are very weird. It's hard. It's a lot of whistles. It's hard for people to understand if you aren't a water polo player, and I totally understand that it's hard to understand. But yeah, it is a clock constraint, and like that's where fitness comes in, right? Because like look at basketball, you have these like 7-foot guys that it takes like 5 steps for them to reach like one side of the court to the other. Well, you got like little 5'8" me having to swim just as far, and it takes a lot longer to get there. So you have to be fit so you can get down the course so that you have time in your offense to still be able to do things.
Totally. Well, I think that's, I don't know. It's very admirable, the sport that you play. I think that beach volleyball is very tough, but I think that water polo is probably
by far.
by far. Yeah. The tough.
Sorry, you two.
No.
All respect goes to her.
Yes.
Hats off. Hats off.
Hats off to you. Big
We'll
time.
have to
just
get
different.
into the water and
I want to
trust our
see
egg
you
beat.
in the water.
We should do that. We should, when next time you have a day off
Oh,
or
yeah.
something, then you don't have to be in the water. You can just coach us from,
I'll
You
give
can have
just
the
in case
whistle.
Kelly
Yeah.
needs an assist.
Perfect. Yeah.
Do you
I'll
know?
give you a little push.
I'll bring my floaties.
Do you know how to freestyle?
Yes.
Kind of, but like I sink.
Oh man.
That's why I
You
need
know,
the
if you
kickboard.
hold your breath, you float.
Yeah, your center of gravity or your center of the buoyancy is in your lungs. I used to be a swim team coach.
What?
Yeah,
Fun
a
fact.
long time ago.
Well, let's get you in the water.
No thanks.
Yes,
I
let's
don't
get
go
Dana in the
anymore.
water.
Come on.
I'll sit up top with Rachel.
No.
we all know Gina can swim, so
I'm okay.
She can swim. She can
She's doing
golf.
butterfly across the court.
golf.
The sand. What's it called?
She used
I
to
could
Is that your new
I could do like one lap
Yeah.
butterfly until I'm like, okay, I'm done.
No,
But freestyle and breaststroke, those were like, that's my jam.
2 easy ones.
Yeah. I like breaststroke too, though.
That
What-
was
I don't
fun.
like to swim.
I had to do a whip kick into a guy that was pulling me under during a triathlon once.
Oh,
He was like 2-3 times my size, and he was like using me as a flotation device.
absolutely not. We are not flotation devices.
I
I
know.
say that all the time.
Yeah,
I'm not a flotation device.
No.
I'm already sinking myself.
Yeah. And I'm like, it was my first time, so I put myself in the back of the pack of the triathlon, my
Oh.
wave, and I'm just like gonna take my time, and everything else is fine. But he started pulling me under, and then like crawling on top of me,
Mm-mm.
and I got away from him, and I did a whip kick into his ribs, and he backed off.
There you go.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah. See,
Whip kick.
you're dirty. You're dirtier
listen.
than I am.
Trust me, Dana's fiery.
I'm gonna be quiet here. I'm a great listener. I'm a great listener.
We love
Um,
it. We love it.
Yeah.
I would love to get into your Olympic experiences, to kind of talk about how each quad differed for you and kind of what they meant to you, and also kind of looking forward, obviously, to this next Olympics as well. So,
Just
basically,
hand
kind of
it
like
over.
what did each quad mean to you, or how did they differ?
Yeah. Okay. So my first quad, I redshirted my senior year of college. So I was still in college. I redshirted my senior year of college to do our full-time year that I talked about. And that team was a big turnover team. So 2012, USA Women's Water Polo won gold in London, which awesome. That was our first gold medal. Since women's water polo came into the Olympics, which was 2000. Oh gosh, I really hope I don't butcher this. We won silver in Sydney. We won bronze the next one, and then we won silver in Beijing. And so a lot of those girls were still on the team, and they won gold in London. And then there was a lot of turnover after that year. So kind of like this year. And we brought in, I was one of like the 9 new girls on the team. And the coach was like, okay, you guys are new. I'm just gonna like crush you guys.
What do you mean crush?
Like
Did he smush you?
I mean, without physically smushing me, like I felt smushed every day.
Okay.
You know, and it's
Yeah.
just like every day is just like an absolute grind. One of those. And it proved out to be great. Like we won a world championship that year, 2015, which was, the start of our world championship. We've won the last 4 world championships now in a row. And that was the start of it in 2015. And then that brought us into the 2016 Olympics where we were down for all of 42 seconds, the whole Olympics in every game. And it was the start of a game. Like Hungary came out, scored 1 goal. 42 seconds later, we scored another goal. And that's the only time we were down in the 2016 Olympics, which is like
Wow.
unbelievable. Yeah, that team was amazing. And part of it's because of the beatdown that we got. But, it also brought, cohesion, and we learned how to work together really well. And, when you're in the trenches together fighting every day during the grind, it brings out a lot more in you guys, which was awesome. So it was a really hard quad. And obviously that was my first one. So I was fighting for a spot on the team. I had never, made an Olympic team. I hadn't made my first world championship roster yet. But so for me, I was just a young kid that was like, I will do anything to make this team. You want me to swim what? Okay, I'll swim it. You want me to do this? Yep, I'll do it. And I would have done anything I needed to make that team. And a lot of us had that mindset. And like, that was one of the reasons why he could push us as hard and as much as he did. And he did. And it ended up being successful. Was it the most enjoyable? You know, so there was ups and downs, peaks and valleys, as there is through any journey. But for me, after that, I wasn't the happiest with it. And that's like totally personal opinion, because there's a lot of other girls on my team that had a wonderful experience. But I just felt like I didn't enjoy the journey as much as I wanted to. And I was super focused on like making that team and winning that gold medal. But that led to me staying around for another quad, because I was like, I want to do this again and try and see if I can do it differently. And so I stayed around, and then obviously COVID hit, so stayed around an extra year. So we did 2 full-time years instead of just 1 full-time year. But had a totally different experience. A lot more joy, a lot more, you know, up and downs, but a lot more ups than downs. We retained a lot of girls from that last team. So it was a group that was still close, and we just had a few more trickle in. And it was an absolutely wonderful experience. A lot of people, you know, because of COVID and no people in the stands, and it was Tokyo, and we got tested so many times. You know, we all were mentally, you know, battling something, but we all could do it together. And that, I think, made that time a bit easier for all of us. And Japan is absolutely amazing. I'm really excited to be going back, just because we didn't get to experience any of it last time we were there. But yeah, it was a really cool experience, and being able to come out on top again was, I mean, you can't beat it.
So what did you do personally to mentally shift to have a more enjoyable experience?
Yeah, I think I just went into each day like looking for more joy, like looking for happiness. You know, I obviously had been around for 5 years by then, you know, 8 years, 9 years, however long, had been around for a lot longer, kind of knew like what I needed to do, knew my role more so. You know, when you're first coming on the team, you're trying to figure out your role. You're trying to figure out where you fit in. You're coming from college where you're one of the best players on your college team. And now you're coming to an even smaller team that everyone was the best player in college, you know? So it's like trying to see where you fit in. And that first quad, I was trying to see where I fit in, and it's a lot of work, and it was grueling. And this next time around, it was like, okay, I kind of know where I already fit. If I needed to take on more or take on less in other places, like that was easier to transition to, as opposed to just like trying so hard just to make it, you know? And of course it wasn't like I was ever comfortable in making the team, because you never can be. Like, I'm always terrified every time a roster gets announced. I'm like, oh my God, what if this is the time I don't hear my name? And then so you black out until you hear your name, and then you don't hear anyone else's name, and you're like, okay, I know I made it. Did you make it? Did you make it? Did you make it? And I'm like, I made it. Okay, we're okay. You know, but just like thinking about like joy each day, and like going in with a joyful attitude, and trying to have a lot more like gratitude and thankfulness was really big for me that second time around, of like making sure to like, there's so much that goes into like us being able to play at such a high level, between support of like families, or like medical support that we get, or our trainer, or our, you know, sports psych. There's so much that so many people do for us, and just being able to be thankful for them every day.
Yeah, it's super important. I always find myself, if I'm getting too in my head, or like feeling myself not enjoying my journey or my process, I think of gratitude for sure. I'm like, wow, I get to be outside at the beach. I get to hang out with my friends. I'm like, you know, physically challenging myself. All these, it sounds like you paid attention more to like the little things to find the joy, and to be grateful for the experience in general, that's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your mindset now going into this quad, your third one? Is it the same, different? What have you refined?
Ooh, I don't know. I feel like we haven't like hit that. I mean, we're like starting the, you know, full year. Haven't really hit the full stride of the full year yet. But yeah, I mean, of course, like keeping that attitude of gratitude and trying to keep joy, you know, as one of the olders on the team now, it's like also trying to like show the youngers, like, this is like the culture of our team. Like, this is where we want to go. This is like where we want you guys to be able to go as well. Sorry. But you know, trying to lead by example, and bringing that joy, and showing the youngers that like this is a joyful process. We actually had a really cool like alumni event where like players from the 2000 team came in, and like from every team were invited, and it was on Saturday after a game, and we got to talk to them and listen to them, and a bunch of them went up and shared stories, and something that almost every single one of them touched upon is that none of them shared stories about like, oh, we won or, oh, we lost. It was all like, oh, and then me and my teammate crashed a scooter together, or like, you know, like silly things of like, and like, that's what you remember the most. It's not, you know, necessarily the wins and losses, but like, I'm sure they remember that, but what you remember the most is like how someone made you feel, or like what you got to do with your friends. And I'm sure you guys like understand that you get to travel. Like I literally get to travel around the world with my best friends. And do I get to like vacation travel? No, but I get to travel around the world. Like that's still really cool. Like I've been to so many more countries than I ever probably would have without sports. So just being, you know, thankful for what you do get to do. And so going in this time around is, you know, showing those younger, still being grateful, still trying to, you know, push limits, winning. Of course, that's like never something we don't want to do, but being able to show these youngers like all these really cool things that we do get to do too.
How do you handle the pressure and expectations of representing your country?
Pressure is such an interesting word, and we talk about it a lot with our sports psych. Pressure is something that, I mean, you could put on yourself, but from the outside, you can choose whether to have it or not, right? Like, okay, so we've won a lot, but that doesn't mean that we're guaranteed to win, you know? Going back to like what I said, like you're only as good as your next game. So if you aren't training the way you need to be training, it might not happen. And you know, maybe you are training the way you need to be training and you still don't win. You're never guaranteed a win. And so it's like you get to go into every game with a clean slate. That's how I view it. You know, if I'm out there and I'm doing my best and I'm putting my best forward every single day and in every single game, like that's all you can really do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like we talk about pressure a lot, and there are a lot of girls on my team that get a lot more outside pressure than maybe I do. But like I tend to view pressure a lot differently than them. Like if all I can do is my best. Like all we can do as a team is our best, you know, and if we don't do our best, then that's totally on us. But if we're doing our best and we lose that day, then, you know, we go back to the drawing board, we see what we need to work on, and then we go from there.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
What do you think sets you guys apart? Because obviously you guys have been dominant for a long time. And so what do you think sets you guys apart and has allowed you to be, and you also as an individual, to be able to be so successful in your career?
I don't know. You know, it's like giving away secrets here. No, I mean, but I guess like I feel like that's like one of the things, like there are no secrets. Like we train really hard. We try and make every practice like a game, right? If you've done the same thing 1,000 times, like at the same intensity that you're going to do it in the game, then it's like, I know how you're going to be in a game. You know how I'm going to be in a game, so that when we get to that game, like nothing surprises us. And obviously like you're playing an opponent that you never know what they're going to do. But if I know how you're going to react to things, it's like, it's a lot easier to like figure things out.
Yeah.
So lots of practice.
Yeah. That's good. I think, and obviously I wish you guys the best of luck and moving forward too. I mean, I hope that you guys win another gold medal.
Thank you.
I actually kind of want to ask about have there been any challenges as being like a female water polo player versus like what does the men's look like compared to the women's? Like, are there more opportunities for the men? Is there a future for water polo in America, like at a pro level? Because obviously it's like volleyball, right? If you want to go play,
you go overseas. Yeah.
Obviously now with volleyball, they're trying to start a couple pro leagues here, but like what do the opportunities look like? And then have there been more challenges as being a woman versus a man in the sport?
Yeah. We get paid significantly less. So we are actually just starting to get paid. So World Aquatics is like the like big governing body. They used to be called FINA, recently switched their name to World Aquatics. So they do like all the events. So like World Championships, World Cup, all those things is done through them. And we recently in the last couple years, ever since last squad, we're like almost I don't want to butcher this, but I believe we're getting paid like winnings wise as much as the men now. But for a really long time, we weren't getting like winnings wise, you weren't getting as much as the men. So like winning the same exact tournament, like you win world championships, they win world championships, you get paid less. Right. And so, you know, through the years, we've obviously been fighting for more and more. And I think we finally reached that where we're getting paid the same. But, you know, it's always a push because like men's water polo has always been bigger than women's water polo. Right. And I think it's we've had some amazing women come before us to like obviously get it into the Olympics. I'm sure they pushed for years and years to be able to get it to as an Olympic sport, right? Men's water polo was the first team sport in the Olympics. Fun fact.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yes. Fun fact. Fact check me, but I'm pretty sure that's a 100% true fact. But it wasn't for like another 100 years after that women's water polo got to the Olympics, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's people have always been pushing for us, and we've had amazing women before us, and you know, it's up to us to kind of keep pushing that bar, whether it's equal pay or, you know, trying to get like as many fans to games or just trying to grow the sport. Right now it's a mostly California based sport in the US. But trying to like push it to other places in our country would be amazing. So we try and do games all over. We've had games in Texas. We've had games in New York. We've had games in Florida. I think we're going to be back in Florida in December possibly, you know, so trying to expand just, you know, the reach of our sport.
In awareness. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's important.
Where can we watch these matches? Or obviously you have Instagram. Like, how can our listeners tune in to watch you and USA?
I would say like stay tuned on our Instagram because it always changes. You know, women's water polo and water polo in general usually plays at like 3 a.m. during the Olympics.
Well, I mean, but we watched your World Cup game
Yes.
last night,
Yeah.
which was on YouTube
Yep.
live. That was great. So yeah, I think just tune into the water polo Instagram account.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll share
Yes.
links of future tournaments.
They
and all
always,
that.
yeah, we always try and post things,
Yeah.
like letting people know where we'll be.
Yeah. With so do you find the sports growing? At least, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And so what advice do you give, would you have then for female or young girls that are wanting to play the sport and get to the level that you're at?
I think just to find the joy. I feel like, and this isn't just for water polo, I feel like for every sport now, I feel like kids are so early on at a young age pushed into like doing one sport. I played volleyball, played water polo, and swam all throughout high school, right? Like we shout out to LaSalle, Gina. I was a couple years younger than Gina going through the same high school, but I mean, we won CIF for volleyball when I went through. Not saying I'm a volleyball star, but you know, I think being able to play multiple sports is super important because it helps with burnout. Like how often now do you hear younger kids being like, I'm so burnt out of this sport? Well, if you play multiple sports, you get to bounce around from thing to thing to thing and you don't get burnt out. So I think playing multiple sports is super helpful, but then just finding the joy in what you do, right? You know, there's not every day is good, but there is good in every day, and just being able to pinpoint that good. And if it's still fun, you know, that's why I still do it a million years later. Like I'm a dinosaur, but I still play water polo because I love doing it with my friends and I love the sport at the end of the day. You know, so I think for younger kids, it's like find what you love and just keep doing it.
That's great. I think I wanted to also talk about your mom a little bit because I think that she kind of is like a great example of that.
Mm-hmm.
I would see, so her mom, she's like a fitness phenom. Like she will bike from Seal Beach to Huntington Beach, play 3 hours of volleyball, then bike back. Yeah. And it's like,
go swim.
And then go, like, she's crazy. And so
Yeah.
do you feel like she's set an example for you in your life? Or
Oh, yeah.
like, what's the relationship with your mom there?
Yeah, I mean, yes, she's a wonderful role model for me. You know, she's like the kind of mom that's like, did you exercise today? I did this, and this. And I'm like, it's my day off, Mom. But no, like we went on a walk this morning because she's like, I'm going to go run. I was like, do you want to walk instead? But she, you know, she's awesome. Like, and she made like what she loved into like a job, into a career, right? She loved playing volleyball and she still loves playing volleyball. And now she co-owns a volleyball club and coaches for that club. And like, that's what she does. She just does volleyball all the time. And that's what she loves and that's what makes her happy. So like that, you know, like you can't ask for more than that.
Totally.
What do you see yourself doing after this sport?
Such a great question. Everyone loves asking me this. I don't know is my answer. So I actually I assisted at Long Beach State women's water polo. So assistant coach last season with them. And I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I would pursue a water polo coaching career.
Maybe volleyball?
I don't.
Just coming out to the beach,
Actually,
2025.
I did assistant coach a 18-year-old volleyball club team last year.
There you go.
I'm good for hitting balls. That's about it. Serving balls. Very good at serving and hitting. And when I mean hitting, I mean on the same side of the net.
Okay.
This body doesn't get up too high anymore. Kind of a brick. But yeah, no volleyball coaching career, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's okay. You don't need to know what's next.
Yeah,
You
no,
just
I'm focusing on what's now, and
Totally.
that'll be there when I get there.
yeah.
What's your skin routine?
Yeah, we want to talk about this.
I want to talk about it because
we're-
we're both in the sun. You're in the pool, so it's a little bit different. So the sun reflects. Like, how do you take care of your skin? What do you do for moisturizing?
Is it chlorinated or is it salt water?
Chlorinated.
Oh, geez, that's worse.
It's awful. It's awful. And your eyes are just like,
Yeah, you're not wearing goggles.
no.
You're just like
Yeah.
beady eyes.
The best
red.
is, so I used to wear contacts,
Yeah.
and then I got LASIK, and big regrets there because contacts like kind of like help
Protect it. Yeah.
protect your eyes. So I'll wear non-prescription contacts now,
Yeah.
just like kind of help protect my eyes.
Oh, interesting.
I know. I even have ones that are like sunglass ones. So I have ones that like make my eyes all black,
Oh, I've seen
or
those.
ones that make my eyes all red.
Oh,
Those are
cool. You're a vampire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Skin routine,
Skin routine. Okay. Obviously I wash my face in the morning. Sometimes.
Very convincing.
Look, I'm about to go jump in water. It's like hard to like put water on your face when you know you're about to go jump in water. But like putting like obviously like a moisturizing sunscreen on usually, and then I'll go to the pool, and then I put like a Neutrogena on base layer, and then I wear Vertra. A lot of us wear Vertra, which is like a Surfer's brand tinted sunscreen. It like does not come off easily, and you can't like sweat it off. So like when you're in the water, it just stays on. But she thick. So like to get it off, you are using makeup removing wipes or like makeup remover to get it off after practice. And then for our like body sunscreen, we usually look for like anything with the highest zinc oxide content. So baby stuff is usually really good. Anything that says baby usually has high zinc oxide content. And that's what we do. So a lot of us, when we go in the water, our like arms are like kind of like white or like purplish because it's like so thick on our arms, and then our faces are really tan. It's a very interesting look. Yes.
That's
And
good,
then you
yeah.
have to get all of it off afterwards. And then you put all of it back on for the next practice.
I would just layer on, just keep it going.
Just keep it going all day.
Yeah.
I know, but it dries out your skin then. And
Yeah,
it's just like
true.
So then how do you moisturize? Like, what's your body lotion?
So
while you go to sleep?
afterwards, anything. Like I'll put on just like lotion, and then 10 minutes later lotion, and then, you know, just keep lotioning it up till you're sticky.
That's really funny.
Yeah, that's intense. I mean, we're in the sun, but it's like I wear a hat and sunglasses every day, tons of zinc,
Yeah.
keep the clothes on.
Yeah. I feel like you don't wear that much sunscreen.
Okay, I do. I wear L to MD every day.
Yeah, that's a good
All
brand.
face. And then but I've been wearing clothes, and I've been trying to keep clothes on, but now it's
warm.
getting warmer, so
I keep them on. I got the sleeves.
I love the sleeves on you.
Accessories.
They are cool.
yeah.
I would
It's a
wear one.
vibe.
Yeah.
You look very serious with the sleeves
I
on.
agree.
All
Do you think
black.
it helps?
I do. I think for like passing, it's just more of a comfort. I feel like I can control the ball a little bit more, and then it just keeps the sweat off.
Do you feel like they get sandy?
Oh yeah, they do. They reek. Yeah,
Yuck.
but you just power through.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You just like I have poor
like knee
Jess.
pads.
Yeah.
Poor Jess. She's like, man, it stinks. I'm like, oh, it's my arm sleeves.
It's me again.
Sorry. No, but I like the sleeves. They help. They're a little bit it's just like a comfort thing. So
That's fair.
I have one more question.
Yeah, of course.
How long can you tread water for? Have you ever recorded? No.
No. I'm like so serious. Like a lot of times we'll just like float. Like I can tread water for a long time if I
Yeah,
need to,
right.
but like if I'm just like say like a drill's getting explained or like the coach is yelling at you or whatever, like I can kind of just like sit there, like just like use my arms and my legs can kind of dangle, or I'll just like breaststroke kick, or I can like float a bit. It's just like there's like a lot more things than just egg beater
Yeah,
that
you're
you
right.
can do. But could I egg beater for a long time? Yes,
Yeah.
if I needed to. Like you're talking to some, like we put like 15-pound bars on our back and egg beater with them.
Oh my god.
Oh.
If we need to.
what?
Or like 10-pound weight belts, or these are all like conditioning things. Like a bungee cord, you have to pull a bungee all the way across the pool without using your hands, just your legs. These are all fun toys for conditioning.
Well, we should do some cross training. That
No.
sounds
that
Actually,
sounds hard.
I kid you not. I swear water polo and volleyball complement each other so much because it's so much legs based.
That's true.
Do you do any hypoxic training?
Like breath control?
Yeah.
Not a ton. I spend a lot of time above water.
Yeah.
If I'm underwater, that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
means I'm getting drowned by someone.
Yeah, not great.
And I don't want that.
Yeah.
So like we'll do breath control during like a swim set kind of a thing, mostly just to heart rate stuff.
Yeah.
But not a ton.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah.
So interesting.
It's
hard.
interesting, though.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So hard.
Anything with the water, I feel like is hard.
Yeah. I'd
It's
be
just
so tired.
different. Like it's just a different element. Like you learn how to walk first, right? Like that's like your first thing, and you add in sand, which makes it more difficult. Like it's harder to jump, it's harder to move in it. It's hard, but you're still walking. Like you finish a point and you get to walk back to your service line. We finish a goal and we get to swim
Still
back
swim,
to the line of center.
You're still
Which
going.
is still which means you're still having to work out.
Yeah.
So it's just different. It's just like in a different element.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, that was great. I learned a lot. Realized that our sport's not that hard.
It is. Volleyball is hard.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Volleyball's hard. Volleyball's
relative.
also so fun. Like
Yeah.
it's so fun.
We'll have to do a swap. We'll have to trade. You come play beach volleyball and we'll get in the pool.
Yeah, I'm
And-
down.
and I'll
You
film.
don't want to see water polo players on land. It's not very pretty.
No, it would be so fun. And then they can see us in the water.
Yeah.
It's a win-win for everyone.
The last question is, how do you take a bet on yourself, or how have you taken a bet on yourself?
I mean, I feel like even like trying to make an Olympic team roster is taking a bet on yourself, right? Like you're like, and I didn't even think about this until after my first Olympics, because one of my best friends was one of the last persons that didn't make the team. And she actually did end up coming to Rio. She stayed with my family. But like even like trying to make the Olympic team is a bet, because you don't know if you're going to make it. At the end of the day, it comes down to one coach's opinion. Like our coach singularly picks the team. Of course, the assistants have a say, but like it's him and that's it. And you have to be okay with giving up a year, or not sacrificing, but choosing to take a year off of whatever you've been doing to make that team. And like, it didn't even cross my mind my first year, like that not making the team was an option. Like that's how diehard I was for it. But now that I've been on the team longer and I've seen people be the last people cut, and there's some of my really good friends, you know, it's hard. And going into the process, it's good to have it, you know, in your mind that you're going to be okay regardless of whether you make it or not, and life will go on. But it's heartbreaking to give what you give and what is being asked and then not make it. So I would say the biggest bet is just trying to become an Olympic athlete.
It's a big bet.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Anything else? Nope.
No, just
Nope.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Of course.
Awesome.
This was so
And
fun.
we're-
Thank you
and
for having me.
Yeah, and we're so excited for your future and watching more of your games and stuff. So
Thank you. We
yeah.
love having fans.
We'll come to the next one.
Yeah,
When is the next one? Home event.
We won't have one.
Oh shit.
not one at home. Yeah,
You can come to Japan. We're in Japan the whole month of July.
perfect.
Oh, perfect. Send us the link.
Come to
come.
Japan.
Okay.
I'll
That's what
be
we're
there.
trying to do. We're trying
You're
to
going
take.
to be in Japan in July?
No, I'm going to be in Switzerland.
Oh,
But like
super close.
if I can make like some other trips around there, I would
Mm.
try to make some time for
We'll be in
myself.
Doha in February.
That's cool.
Come to that one.
Yeah.
Italy in December.
Wow. That's
Netherlands
nice.
in December as well.
That's nice too.
Mm.
That all sounds very nice to me.
Chile in October.
Yeah.
A lot of other European
Fun year
places.
ahead.
Do you guys want to
We
go?
travel so much next year. It's crazy.
Where's your favorite place that you've traveled to?
Budapest.
Really?
It's like a hidden gem.
Yeah. I'm Romanian.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, no, Budapest is like a hidden gem. There's a beautiful river that runs through the middle of the city that separates the Buda side and the Pest side. I think there's something for everyone, because you can like walk, you can ride bikes, there's cafes, there's, you know, like really old ruins, there's bars, there's like something for everyone in that city. And it's absolutely beautiful. Like the architecture there is like relatively untouched, and it's still beautiful. Actually, it's a really big water polo country. There is an island called Margaret Island in the middle of the river that runs through, and there's a venue, like a water polo specific pool there. And our last World Championships, which was 2021 and 2017 World Championships, we both had there, which we've luckily both won both of them. And we had like 5,000 people, which is the most that we've ever had at one of our games. And it's like 5,000 Hungarians like cheering the whole time
on this island.
on an island in the middle of a river,
That's so cool.
How
which is
cool.
crazy.
I got to look up a photo of that.
It's really cool.
That would be fun to go to. We should go to that one.
Why not? We can make it happen.
Yeah.
All right. This is the Bet on Her podcast.
And cut.
Good job, everybody.